Have you pressed the record button?
Yes. Wrong button. There we go.
The galaxy is burning. Brother fights brother, and treason splits the Imperium of Man. This is the Age of Darkness. Whether you're a warrior of the Legiones Astartes, an adept of the Mechanicum, or just a mere mortal in a universe of madness, you'll find a place here. Welcome to the Remembrancer's Retreat, coming to you from within the depths of the Vengeful Spirit.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Remembrancer's Retreat, a Warhammer 30k Horus Heresy podcast. My name is Jesse. I'm here with Austin, Will, and Jared.
Hey.
The triumphant return.
That's right.
Biatch.
Maybe not so triumphant. We'll see.
You just wait.
So what's going on, guys? How y'all been doing?
Good. I mean, it's a new year, so knocking out some projects and whatnot.
Nice.
Yeah.
2020 is officially the far future. I've got a 3D printer now. It'll
Yeah.
be exciting.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, you did?
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Big boy time.
Now I've got like a robot that does my vacuuming and a 3D printer, and that's
Cyber 2020 now,
basically
man.
the future. Yeah.
Oh, shit. We just need augmented eyeballs next.
Flying cars.
I mean, I did get new glasses
I mean,
too.
you can
so
buy
there you
one.
go.
They're not great, but you can buy a flying car. I mean, they do make them.
The Saudis have them.
Yeah. They're not great on gas mileage, but, you know, they're cool.
I mean, if you're flying, do you use gas?
No, then you just use
Kinda
hopes and
glide.
dreams.
That's right.
Yeah.
Powered on that.
Okay.
So what do we get into?
Warhammer. So a few things.
What are the topics today?
A few things popped up this week.
Yeah.
Dark Angels got another reveal in the Road to Thramas, which is pretty awesome.
Those knights.
Yeah.
I think everybody has seen them by now and blown away by them.
So we'll be talking about
Probably
that.
the best Legion Terminators that's ever come out, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every
Everyone's so
time,
disappointed.
Looking at you,
everyone
Space
knows.
Wolves.
It's just every time new Legion Terminators come out, they're always beautiful, except for mine, because whoever did them couldn't sculpt fur, and it's just painful every time. Like, I'm happy for you.
Yeah, but
But
we
I
get
also
to
hate
remind
you
you
a little
every
bit.
time.
It's true. It's true.
And that brings me joy.
So might as well talk about it right now. This
Yeah.
is on the Warhammer community website, The Road to Thramas Part 2. On the Night Shift is what they called it. I'm not sure who was titling that, but that's fine. Last time on The Road to Thramas, we took a first look inside the Horus Heresy Book 9 Crusade and some of the new units contained within. Now we're taking a look at the new elite option for the Dark Angels Legion. Thramas was one of the most brutal war zones in the entire Horus Heresy. Where the fighting was most intense, Lionel Johnson would unleash his inner circle knights Cenobium. What's a Cenobium? Good question. I never heard that term before in my entire
Neither
life
have
until
I.
today.
Sounds
Nope.
made up. Like this whole damn universe.
A quick Google told me that it is like a monastery. What's a good question. What is a Cenobium? It is a temporary cell of warriors from an order of the Dark Angels assembled on the eve of a mission that requires their unique skills. And they show a just gorgeous picture.
Yeah. So hold on. What is a Cenobian get in like real life?
It's like a monastic group of individuals, like a bunch of monks.
Okay. Because I was going to next ask, what does monastic mean? Thank you for...
Well, there you go.
Oh, my God.
And now you've learned something
Break it
that's
down kindergarten style.
certainly
for me,
not
please.
useful, but from the real world.
Read a coffee table book, Will. Jeez.
Clad in the finest cataphracti pattern Terminator armor, the Cenobites.
The Cenobites.
They called it the Cenobites.
Oh, my goodness.
It's okay.
Cinnabites, like a
Cinnabites.
Cinnabite from Cinnabon?
Yeah.
From Hellraiser, sir.
No,
No, so that's Cinnabon,
No,
bro.
Cinnabuns.
Cinnabon
Yeah.
has Cinnabites. They're tiny cinnamon rolls, and they're delicious.
Anyway,
okay?
Have such
These-
sights to show you.
These Cinnabons of the inner circle could easily weather the storm of shrapnel and flame produced by the terrible weapons of the Great
Did you
Crusade.
intentionally call them
Yes.
Cinnabons? Okay.
Yes, I'm calling
Much
them
like, much like a Cinnabon, if you leave it out on your like coffee table for a couple of days,
Just gets
it's
messy.
Real
because
hard.
it's just going to
hard.
be
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
going to be great calling them Cinnabons as I walk around the table with these things.
Yeah.
Armed with the best weapons that the Legion could provide, they would bring the fury of their assault into the heart of enemy formations. Another nice, beautiful piece of artwork right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, one of those Photoshopped ones that
Yeah.
are just fucking excellent.
Forge World
Yeah.
photos. The models to represent this squad are truly stunning. I agree with that. They are covered in the symbols and heraldry of the First Legion, and you can see the similarities with the Deathwing Knights 10,000 years later with their hoods and Dark Angel's iconography. The squad are all armed with a Tyrannic greatsword and a plasma caster. The latter is a weapon that is unique to the Dark Angels and is a smaller version of the regular plasma weaponry, fitted into the vambrace to allow the Inner Circle Knights to fight unencumbered in combat. So...
Well, they intentionally say smaller, right?
Yeah, so I'm wondering if it's some
it
sort of
might-
form of plasma pistol with...
It might not be the same weapon that those support guys had.
No, it's
it's
definitely
not.
not going
It's
to be.
not,
No,
but it's
no
not.
way.
It might not even be the same like class of weapon. You know, like how a plasma pistol is a thing and a plasma gun's just longer range.
Right.
Like it might not even be that. It
Do you
could
think
be
it's
something
it's a whole
different.
new? It could be. It could be. Well,
I bet you
yeah.
it's something that has like a ton of shots but low strength, but like a low
high AP.
too. Yeah,
like
yeah.
Strength like 5
Yeah,
million
I'm thinking.
AP2.
Look,
That'd be good.
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe something on the lines of a plasma fusel, but they also mentioned it's small. So like maybe strength 5 AP3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Something like that as opposed to AP2 like we normally see.
Yeah.
Or maybe only like a 6 or 9 inch range, something weird like that.
Yeah, like a very
Yeah.
close range. Yeah.
This has been your random speculation.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
we know
We
nothing.
can keep going because I was
Oh,
throwing
no,
all
yeah,
kinds
yeah.
of crazy ideas out
So
there.
here's
yeah.
another thing. Before a game begins, you can select the order that your Inner Circle Knights are from. Each one is dedicated to a singular creed of war. Each different order provides the unit with a special rule for the duration of the battle that enhances their specific fighting style.
Kind of sounds like Thousand Suns.
To
Yeah,
some
the
extent, yeah.
Cult
Yeah.
Arcana. Or,
So
They-
it's interesting because not only in addition to wings, apparently we'll also have knightly orders to add another layer.
Yeah.
that sounds cooler.
Yeah.
And honestly, I kind of like it because of the whole, stratagem supreme. Why not being able to choose?
Like you'll be able to
before-
mix and match all these different orders and the nightly stuff, or what is it? So you have orders, and then
Hopefully,
what do you
anyway.
have?
Right now, creeds of war, knightly orders.
Okay, so you have orders, and then what's the other thing that Dark Angels have?
Wings.
Wings,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So yeah, just think of the combinations you can throw together there, right?
In addition to having 2 rights of war.
hopefully,
Yeah,
the-
I mean, it could be that like, hey, you're taking this wing, you can only pull from certain orders.
that's what I'm hoping
Potentially.
doesn't happen. But
Yeah.
if it does happen, hey, whatever. But still,
Yeah, either
potentially,
way.
there's a lot of options, right?
But no, I could see it being like, hey, you can get a little buff, just like kind of Thousand Suns. Each squad can be its own thing. I would like that, and also like a grand unifying, like, oh yeah, we did bring all the Deathwing to this.
Yeah.
And here's your like restrictions, but your extra Deathwingy buff.
Right? Yeah, that'd be good. Hopefully, we do see that.
Yeah. Whichever order you induct your knights into, they are going to prove crucial in the conflicts across Thramas, Triplex, and beyond.
Have we heard triplex before?
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
From
yes.
where?
I don't
Outside of Thramas Crusade, outside of the whole
It's
Road
a-
to Thramas thing.
I believe I've read about it in 40K setting, but I
Okay.
can't pull it together.
Gotcha.
Interesting.
Gotcha.
But these might be one of the few units that can go toe to toe with Deathsworn.
But
Just-
they're
just
AP3 weapons.
Yeah. So
Oh,
Death
Tyrannic
Sworn-
Greatswords are
yeah.
only AP3?
Yes.
Oh, I was thinking they're AP2. Never mind, still fucked.
I mean, who knows? Did they change any of the Blood Angel or White Scar's weapon profiles when they got their book?
No.
No.
I think they might have, I want to say the,
Their jump hack and spear dudes still, I think, are 2 up
yeah,
armor.
they're the
Yeah.
same.
They
And-
changed the points cost, so didn't they? For some of the White Scar stuff?
Yeah. The White Scars, they're the Legion specific weapon. I forget what it's called, a Power Glaive or something.
Yeah.
That's I think it went up a little bit in points.
So yeah, the Inner Circle Knights will be available later this year, as will the Horus Heresy Book 9 Crusade. In the meantime, pick up a Dark Angels Legion Parade or lead your knights into battle.
And I've been thinking about the Warhammer community, how they're doing this, right? They're doing a Horus Heresy Book 9 thing a week.
It's been like once a month right
Once
now.
a month?
Yeah.
I thought they had more than that.
It was the first part 1 was in December.
First part one was in December? All right. So like once a
early
month.
mid-December.
And they're having 2. Is there a third thing you could have on the Dark Angels, you reckon?
I don't know, but honestly, would not be surprised if the next series would be part of see what the Night Lords get.
No, and that's my thought. So you know they're trying to head it to figure it out that, hey, when we're done, like the last one will be, and don't forget to pre-order your book next week. Mm-hmm. So if you're like, okay, if each thing gets 2, what are you doing?
I don't know. I hit the button. Whoop, there we go.
Jesus. Then we're only like 4 months out from the new book.
Well,
If each gets 2,
we could see some Atramentar.
We have no idea how many
Terminators.
parts are there.
Yeah.
Well, we know it's Night Lords, Dark Angels, Dark Mech, right? Those are the three factions.
Dark Mech got cut.
Oh, Dark Mech got cut.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was a bummer.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of.
My wallet
Or a blessing in disguise, right? Because that means that this is going to have so much more good stuff for the other two legions, right?
Yeah.
Won't
If
argue
it's
with
anything like the way the Dark Angels are being picked up now that they got cut from Book 8,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, the Night
Yeah.
Lords.
Yeah, kind of happy Dark Angels
So
did
much-
get cut because this
I actually
is
am.
feeling better.
Yeah. And think how much
Constructed
worse like the
already.
demons would
Yeah.
have been. If they're like, if you're just taking that design time
Oh, yeah.
and trying, like, you're cutting some of the design out of that to put it into the next thing.
Yeah,
Crazy. So I'm very excited for all of this. Mm-hmm. And now,
I'm still somewhat tempted. Like,
I
maybe
will
it might
say,
be here
though-
for Adepticon. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know, man. I think you're pushing it.
Stuff, but I will say,
hope.
seeing actual models that are built and painted
Yeah.
shows that they're going to
Versus
be
just
out.
preview
They're going to be out there
sculpts.
soon, like within the next 2 months.
well,
maybe.
no, and,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm saying. Like, hey, you start doing the math on it. There's not that much stuff to cover.
Yeah.
So maybe Adepticon, but maybe Nova. We don't know.
Me. Could be either, yeah.
Guys, I'm going to say this. I really think it's going to be out by Christmas.
Thank you, Will, for
All
that
right, well, there you go.
blinding
I hope so.
insight.
Will being 1 for 1 on 2020 predictions.
Yeah.
Soothsayer.
Nailed it.
So let's talk about the
Wait,
other
no,
thing.
guys, don't say that because holy shit, what if they get like a printing issue?
You shut
Like,
your
oh,
whore mouth
no.
right now.
Damn
Why
it,
did you
Will.
put that-
Just cursed
Edit
it.
that out.
Oh, no.
Edit that out. It'll be fine.
The Remembrance Street put a curse on Book 9 coming out.
No. Will did.
Yeah, Will did. At me. Yeah.
At Lancaster Painting.
So
Forge
Yeah.
Breaker Painting.
Forge Breaker
Thank
Painting.
you.
Hit
I
them
gotta
up on
Sorry, it's
Twitter.
not the new
I got to
thing,
get
yeah.
get that handle
cards
out.
made, yeah.
Yeah.
The tank?
Let's talk about the new thing that came out
The
yesterday.
Bombard, right?
Yeah.
So we
Welcome
saw
to-
the initial teaser of this one, which had a grav flux on it.
Yeah.
And this one has a whole different set
They
of
pulled a
munitions
little
on it.
switcheroo on us.
Yeah.
I was really
A little bit,
surprised.
which also makes me think: should we hold off or magnetize weapon racks for weapon
Absolutely, you
upgrades?
should.
So
Or do you think they're going to do a whole different tank for a different weapon?
it's really hard to
platforms?
say because
Look at Sicarans.
I think they're going to release a whole different tank and not make them interchangeable at all.
That
Because
is typical. Of,
that would be leaving money on the table for them.
yeah.
But let's talk about this. The Legion Arquitor Bombard at 140 points per model. Let me get that fluff text.
Yeah.
Let me squint here so I can read this off my phone. The Legion Arquitor Pattern Bombard is a heavy artillery platform designed to operate at the forefront of a Legionis Astartes advance. Equipped with a reinforced chassis and brutal short-range firepower, it is called upon to break the most stubborn of fortifications or to annihilate massed enemy infantry and armor. The heavy guns and missiles most often carried by the indomitable Aquitor Bombard are more than capable of removing any obstacle to the advance of a Space Marine host in a series of devastating explosions. Coming in at 140 points per model, the Legion Arquitor Bombard is a heavy support choice for the Space Marine Legion Army list found in the Horus Heresy Legionis Astartes Age of Darkness Army list. Stats: Arquitor Bombard, Ballistic Skill 4, Front, Side, Rear Armor, 12, 12, and 10 respectively.
Don't like it.
4 hull points. It's pretty low. Unit
4 whole
composition.
points is as much as a
Yeah.
Land Raider.
Yes.
But the armor.
It's big.
So
it's beefy. It'll
Yeah.
take those 4 whole points for sure.
Don't mean to interrupt. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
I just
You're good.
strain of thought, man.
Unit composition, you can have up to 1 to 3 Arquitor Bombards in a single slot.
Which
The
is where
unit
it gets-
themselves is not a 0 to 1 option. Is that correct?
A unit is 0 to 1.
I didn't see anything about that.
No, it should be. You can take 3 heavy.
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
Legion
yeah,
Artillery
yeah.
Tank Squadron,
Nope, you
which is
can
currently
have-
the only way to get indirect fire support for your Legion, is a 0 to 1
Nope,
option.
because
Nope,
this
there's
isn't
no
really
restriction
indirect
there.
fire support.
Oh, technically, you're right.
Oh, well, I mean, it is, but it's also
carpet bomb
24
fire
inch.
support.
yeah.
is what it
It's
is.
also 24 inch range. So, we'll get there. We'll get there.
You guys
Spoiler.
jumping the gun on me. God
I'm
damn.
excited. I'm excited for this.
Unit type is vehicle. Tank, heavy.
heavy, guys.
Heavy.
Pay attention to heavy.
Heavy is mean now.
War gear included is a hull-mounted Spicula rocket system, 2 sponson-mounted heavy bolters, smoke launchers, searchlight, and an auxiliary drive. Any Arquitor Bombard may exchange both its heavy bolters for 2 of the following: an autocannon for 10 points. Any Arquitor Bombard may take one of the following pencil-mounted weapons: a combi weapon for 5, havoc launcher for 15, twin-linked bolter for 5. All Arquitor Bombards in the squadron may take any of the following options. All vehicles must select the same upgrades: Armored Ceramite for 20 points. Extra armor for 10 points. Let's talk about the Spicular Rocket System. It is a range of 24 inches. Strength is 7 AP3. Ordnance, Blast, which has an asterisk, Rocket Salvo, Sunder, Wrecker. Rocket Salvo. When firing the Spicular Rocket System, choose a target point within range. Note that the target point does not have to be on a model's base, and place a blast template of one of the following sizes, 5 inches or 7 inches. Once placed, scatter the blast template as normal. Each unit under the template's final position suffers a number of hits based on the template size as shown on the table below. If the 7-inch template is used and a 6 is rolled on the D6, then the weapon has exhausted its ammunition and may no longer be fired. If you hit with a 5-inch template, you get 5 automatic hits. A 7-inch template, D6 plus 4 hits.
So you're still going to get 5 hits.
Yeah,
Yeah.
minimum 5
Yeah.
hits.
Yeah. 5 to 10.
And on a 6, you're just out of luck. You still get that fire, but
Yeah.
So that's really unique, and I really appreciate seeing really different mechanics.
So let's dissect it from the top,
yeah,
right?
yep.
Physical. Immediately we thought it was a Sicaran that they threw backwards.
yeah, no, it's bigger
not.
than that. Yeah,
It's not.
Yeah, it's bigger than
guys.
that.
Yeah.
Also, the rockets, like the Spiculum rockets, I want to say there was a Death Corps of Krieg vehicle back in the day, or possibly still existent, that had the same sort of like feel for those rockets. 'cause-
That rocket system is very prominent in Forge World. It's on the
Yeah.
Knight variants when they have it. It's also on Mechanicum units.
Isn't
that
Are
have
they
it.
actually
Triarch
Spiculum,
conveyor?
or just like the
it's the
pop-up?
same type of pop-up
Yeah.
system. Forge World loves it. I love it.
It's really cool.
There's the
Yeah.
Super Heavy that has that same thing. The
Yeah.
Pylum or...
The Praetor, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you, Stephen.
Yeah, I do really like that look. It's a
Yeah.
beautiful tank.
Yeah, very bizarre looking, the whole backwards thing. But if you think of it as a Sicaran, it looks backwards. But knowing now it's its own thing,
Yeah. Some unique
it
chassis.
still does look off-putting because you have the Saber now, you have the Sicarans and all the variants of that, and
And
they all
it's-
have that same sloped forward. You see this and you're like, this is kind of off-putting. But now you know, like, it's obviously weaker armor, and it's a heavy vehicle, which is something we haven't seen since 6th edition.
Lehman Russes are heavy. That's the only thing that stayed.
Still. Okay.
Yeah.
So, very interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing of the weapon, the fact that you don't have to target a unit. You can target the ground.
So that's interesting
I'm really-
because
yeah.
it means that weapon has a greater than 24-inch range. Because
Yes.
you have to have the dot at 24, but you've still got that extra couple inches to tag something.
well, I mean, technically, all blast weapons have a range greater than their profile if they get a scatter far away, right?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, but you gotta have something
technically,
to
you can't do that
put
on
the
purpose.
template on.
You're right.
Yeah, you got to have that first drop.
Right. If somebody's like, oh, I'm going to put my guys.
Yeah, hey, I'm 24
7
and a quarter
inches-
inches out of way.
you're right.
You just say, ha-ha, suck a dick.
So
Yeah.
I heard this question being scattered around on the internet. Ha ha ha. Want to get your guys' opinion. Can you place this template even outside of your line of sight?
It's not barrage.
True. It says place within range.
Can I see the actual word?
Yeah.
You
Like my-
still
all
need
right,
line of
So
sight.
here's
I
the
would think so.
Yeah.
here's
But
the
I just-
wording again.
I see, different,
Choose a
Opinions.
target point. It's when firing the Spicular rocket system, choose a target point within range, doesn't have to be on a model's base, and place a blast template of one of the following sizes. I would argue no.
Yeah.
I would argue you don't need line of
if
sight.
It wasn't, if the fact that there was no barrage to that weapon.
That's the thing. I would
That's
argue
the
that you
killer to
can't.
me.
I think you need line of sight because
But then
if
again,
it doesn't
I
have
think
barrage.
if it was
But barrage is not just you don't need line of sight. Like there's other stuff attached to the barrage special rule, right?
I mean, yeah.
I mean, as far as like scatter dice are concerned, but
Yeah.
basically barrage is just you don't need line of sight.
Like my initial gut reaction would be
I say
no.
don't because the way that all shooting works in this game is you have to have line of sight of whatever you target.
Yeah.
If you're targeting a point, you still have to have line of sight of that point.
That being said, if you had a Nuncio Vox, go hog wild.
Right. I imagine, right?
Counterpoint.
Sure.
There is not another weapon in the game that works the way this one does.
Well, there we go. We're going to need an FAQ immediately, guys. Haven't even released the model yet. We need an
and-
FAQ. Okay?
And we'll go with, God help us, rules as intended, right? This is a massive firing of unguided missiles into a location. Who needs line of sight for that? You say, hey,
The Warlord can fire like that. It can pick a point on the battlefield.
Yeah, but it's got
Still
World
has to be
Burner.
able to see it.
That's a special thing.
That's a different thing, though.
But it says that there's a precedent for it.
All right, say it again, because so the audience can hear.
So the Warlord can target a point on the map or on the table, and it does not need line of sight to do so.
It does.
Or it does need line of sight, yeah. Okay, thank you.
It can just pick a point.
But it just picks a
on the
point.
table and
So
fire
there's a
it.
precedent for a
So the
rule
question-
similar to this.
So the question is,
existing.
what does that rule say? Does that rule specify you have to see the point on the table?
Yeah.
Or does it not?
So that one thing, the fact it's saying that you have to have, what does it say? One more time, read it to me.
So, zoom on in here. Rocket salvo. When firing the spicular rocket system, choose a target point within range. Note that the target point does not have to be on a model's base.
Okay, so it says within range. It gives you stipulations as far as, and no part does it say, and within line of sight. So I think that
That's
would
what I'm
be a
going
reason
for.
where you
And
could argue.
in my head, like, it's a
Special
massive...
rule to the weapon, not to the vehicle, which means in order to use the weapon, you have to make a shooting attack.
which requires line of sight.
But that would also require having a
Unless
target.
You have the barrage weapon.
Yeah. Hey, Forge World, FAQ this thing before you sell it, please. Just release the rules early from now on before you put things up on pre-order, and we'll let you know where you're broken.
and fix
Thank
the
you.
Malcador, please. Thank you.
Yes.
God, please, just for militia. Fuck those Astartes guys.
Seriously. just give me my
But I
Malcador
will say,
back.
so, like Will, when we were talking the other day, when we were playing games and we were discussing about blast templates and 8th edition with no blast templates, and like for me, maybe I'm not a huge fan of like blast templates. Let's be honest. Like I like them, but at the same time, I hate counting every single little underneath and trying to judgment because it can depend on how you're looking at stuff.
It gets time consuming.
So honestly, this was kind of a unique mechanic that I kind of like. That's kind of hits both or touches on both. There's kind of like a nice medium to it. It's like as long as you
All
hit
right.
the unit,
Yeah.
you get this amount of.
So
That is a
I
very
have
happy
the,
medium.
I have the rule.
That's exactly
like
what we were
it.
talking about.
Yeah,
I have the rule for the Warlord. So
Okay.
it's World Burner. The Warlord may use any of its blast marker weapons to target areas of the battlefield rather than enemy units if it wishes, including buildings and ruins, etc.
pretty cut and dry.
Pretty, yeah. But it doesn't specify either way.
Yeah.
It just says whatever the gun can do, pick it apart and shoot at it, which I don't think is super helpful for this discussion.
True. But it doesn't mention line of sight. It just says pick a point within range. Did I hear it right?
No, it just says pick a point on the battle. May use any of its weapons to target areas of the battlefield. Because this is a rule for the engine, not
Sure.
a rule for the specific weapon.
Gotcha.
So, piggybacking on that, I feel like every other weapon that doesn't need line of sight, it specifically says in the weapon profile does not need line of sight. Like the Iolos missile launcher on the Deo.
Oh, you're right.
That
Yeah.
specifically says, don't need line of sight for that.
Yeah. So I would say this is an explicit deny.
Yeah.
Is what we're looking for.
Yeah.
If it needs to explicitly say you don't need line of sight. Otherwise, you do need line of sight.
Yeah, because it's not superseding the rule.
Any core rules. Right.
Right.
There's
Exactly.
no
That's a-
core rule there that supersedes the line of sight rule.
Right.
Yeah. Line of
Okay.
sights, I mean, it's
Okay.
central to shooting, and that's,
So
that's
Yeah,
one of
core
the-
of the
council
game,
agrees
yeah.
right now that you need line of sight then?
Yes.
yeah.
3 out of 4.
3 out of 4? Okay.
3 out of 4 doctors recommend line of sight.
That one schlub in the corner.
So, yeah. That's
But
the new
I'm really
stuff.
Did we
excited.
get anything else this week?
What more do you
I think that was
want?
it.
Didn't they have an open day and really show off some models?
They
Or was
teased
that-
That was a while ago, though.
there's like
Since
a
our last
Volkite
cast?
looking guy.
Yeah, a
yeah,
Volkite
we
heavy
hit that up
yeah.
last
Okay.
last cast.
Did you?
Yeah, because I was talking about how I wanted it to be a plasma flamethrower.
Oh, yeah. Talking about for...
Not the destroyers. I'm talking about the new guy that just got where he's got an underslung plasma launcher that was previewed at the
Oh.
open day.
That relic pattern plasma
Yeah.
gun.
That
Or
I
plasma-
personally am thinking it's going to be the heavy weapon for the destroyer unit. You know how currently destroyers can take the rad missile launchers or
Yeah.
something else? they'll be able to take this thing instead. Is my theory. So
Maybe.
yeah.
I can't remember if it was Andy Smiley or Andy Hoare who said it was a relic pattern plasma cannon. They might be lying. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah. But can we go back to the tank for a second? Because I really like this.
Sure.
Yeah.
Especially for Space Wolves, like theme-wise.
Uh-huh.
Because they're saying, like, yeah, Space Wolves want to be, like, in the action, right? Same thing for, like, World Eaters, right? Yeah. And World Eaters specifically have a problem keeping their crews in their fucking tanks because they want to be close to the action. And this just sort of screams, well, we know we need some sort of artillery support, but nobody's willing to stay 5 kilometers behind the battle line and shoot it.
Yeah.
So just get in this, and you can still pop your head out of the top hatch every once in a while and bolter some people. Real excited for it. I'm also kind of interested to see what it'll do, like, to the meta as a whole. Because it doesn't seem that great against 20-man tac squads.
Even with 4
Because you're
hull
still
points,
only hitting between 5 and 10,
even
right?
with 4 hull points, I feel like these can be blown up pretty easily with
Yes.
12,
But
10.
what they'll
Yeah.
fuck with is mech.
And militia.
Not militia, same thing. It'll screw the heavy weapon squads.
Yes. That's
Think
what I'm
about the- think
terrified
about
of.
this, like,
But for mech, think about
hit
how
a
many.
single Thanatar with that blast, and you got 5 hits on that thing.
That's what I'm saying, like-
Strength
But it's
7.
AP3.
Okay.
Yeah, the Thanatar's got 2 up armor.
Hit a
so
group of Castellax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got
Think about how
5
many.
shots at strength 7 AP3.
hitting.
That's
running on
only the
4s
small
and-
blast. That's only the little one, though. And
I
think
still
about.
think if you're going to do it, if you're going to do anything for quad mech now, or quad mech, you're right.
Christ.
I think if you're going to take it, that's where it's going to be really good.
Yeah, because think about how many mech lists are just 3 models strong. Like they bring a ton of units that are only 3 fancy robots strong.
Yeah. Yeah,
and running around all over the place.
Personally, I don't.
That's how Jason runs his whole goddamn army.
More or less.
Now,
But you think like
Pat too, when he's not running a pile of thralls.
the Myrmidons and stuff.
Yeah.
That'd be good. Like
Yeah.
And this will just
Real good.
rain all over their parade.
chance
Yeah.
of 7-inch template. Get D6 plus 4 hits.
10
Strength
hits on
7,
those guys? Yeah.
AP3.
They got a 5 up in Vol.
Well, 9 hits. That's what you want. You want 9 hits.
Don't say hits.
You don't want 10 hits.
Need 30 autocannons on there just for good measure.
Yeah. And that's all. That's 150 points. That's super cheap for.
Yeah, and you
That
have the
many shots.
autocannons for
I
when
really
you roll
was
that.
considering-
Yeah, when you roll that 6, you took it to
So I
something.
was considering taking Caleb Decima and then running his special Fort Sword chart and then taking 3 of these as the heavy support. Just to
And what does that
fucking-
get you, Will?
It gets you 3 of fucking bombards on a mech list. That's what it gets you.
There it is.
Yeah.
Just for the people that didn't
you-
know what
yeah.
that would actually get them.
Oh, yeah.
just run Ordo Reductor.
I could, and then just take actual bombards.
all of the bombards.
which
every
are
one of them.
arguably much better. But,
Yes.
you know.
Will is
hey.
trying real hard to have no friends.
I really am curious to see, like, are they going to... So here's the other thing. That they call this the Legion Arquitor Bombard, which is exactly what they called the one that we saw a month or 2 ago.
So it's going to have other weapon options.
yeah, so that's the kicker. Like,
So when the
At
other weapon
least
options
3.
come out,
are they
they're
going
gonna
to add on to this?
yes,
Are
just
they-
like they've done with the Morax and any other thing else where they've released upgrade kits further down the line. Same thing. They'll update the unit list or the data card with a new profile. And the
I
new
really
cost of
wanted
those
to have
weapons.
one of those one-shot nuke missiles.
If we could get something like what is it? Is it the Imperial Guard have a nuke missile like that? Right?
Manticore?
Yes.
No. The
Manticore.
Manticore is the anti-air one.
Wow. That's the Hydra.
No, the Manticore.
Hydra's-
The
the
Manticore is
Hydra's
the
the-
anti. Is a SAM. Is a SAM battery.
Yeah.
The Hydra is just AAA. This is fun just watching you guys. What is it called again?
My phone's over there.
Missile launcher.
Yeah.
Checking this
Big
right
missile launcher.
Death
So, yeah.
Strike missiles.
Yes.
There,
Yeah.
I
Yes,
win.
it is. It is
Nice.
a Death Strike.
So
missile.
if we could see a Death Strike Bombard, that'd be pretty sick. Immediately hits target at strength 15, AP1.
It doesn't work that way in this game, Will.
It'd be a D
Fucking, they can
D
make
weapon for
rules
D.
up, dude.
This is an 8th edition.
They
There's no
just-
strength 15. What are you talking about?
There's
That's
AV
what-
15.
No, that's what I'm saying. This weapon would hit as if you rolled 15 with the dice, right? You can pin armor 15,
You're pulling this out of your ass.
You can
strength 7
things up.
with rending. Strength 7 with rending. What is that? 15.
Yeah.
Okay, same thing.
at this
Vanquish
point,
it
just
down.
put a D blast on there.
Yes.
No, because D-Blast you still can roll a 1. We want this thing
Reroll
to kill
ones.
Titans.
Reroll ones.
You're right.
It would be fun.
Yeah.
Oh,
But either way,
goodness.
it is interesting to see what other weapons they're going to have. Are they going to have more longer range weapons? Is 24 going to be the max? Because, I mean, the Bombard is 24 inches.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So yeah, these could be like a close, fast, close support, indirect fire sort of thing.
Not a huge fan of the armor,
But
really
apparently
happy
not
with the
indirect fire,
mechanics of
we
the
decided.
blast.
Well, direct, indirect fire.
I feel like
It's a French 76, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Or 75, right?
with the this is totally conjecture, but if the mortar version of this that they teased a couple weeks ago, if they just stick the Leviathan Grav Bombard on
Which
that,
I'm thinking.
if it's a heavy tank, it can only move 6 inches. It can never move flat out. With an 18-inch range, I'm going to shoot that thing before it gets to me every time. Every time.
First off,
Yeah, one, you fucking better.
guys,
Yeah,
guys, talk about the fucking science. Like, I thought Grav Weapon just created a tiny black hole where it was. How do you arc a black hole?
Grav weapons don't cause
Stop asking questions.
What? Yes,
Look,
they do.
the
What do you
laser
think
weapons
gravity
have a
does?
maximum range. Like,
They cause.
Yeah.
Okay. So look. You're okay.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. We're getting way
chainsaw
too-
swords are the tactical infantry weapon of choice.
Throw a bunch of chain swords into a black hole, and
Yeah.
this is
Pistol flamethrowers.
But yes,
okay,
grav
sir.
weapons do increase gravity in their local area, which is why you have to take a toughness test and why it crunches armor down. They create black holes, basically. FYI, if you did not know that, that's what they do, Jesse.
okay.
Argue me with me. What do you think, huh? Because I can tell you, I'm right, you're wrong. Because if I'm wrong, then that means I'm wrong, and I can't have that. So,
You're
All
wrong.
right, I need to find black hole as a discussion with grav weapons because
no, look at...
I know how a black hole works. All
Okay,
right?
good.
We don't need to get Neil deGrasse Tyson in here. And tell me
Get
how the
Neil
black
on
hole-
here, call
Well,
him
I'm
in,
just
just be like,
saying.
hey, man, we need you to argue this science game we're playing.
Well, maybe my mental
bring
model
logic
doesn't
to
see
this
a black
fake-
hole in there.
No.
'Cause I'm not seeing. Well,
Will it?
Well, look, have you read the
No.
one about the...
no, I never read. I
The,
haven't read in 20 years. What are you talking about?
the one about the guys who wear silver and hazard strikes all the time.
Iron Warriors.
Iron Warriors. And they siege that castle.
Uh-huh.
And it's the first chapter of that.
Angel Exterminatus.
There you go.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Angel Exterminatus.
That was
There's
a painful way to get there.
Yeah. Really? Went around my elbow to get to my asshole on that one. All right. That said, in there, they describe the grav field that they have to go through. Mm-hmm. So there you go. There's your press.
So you remember that one tiny detail, but you
because it
couldn't
was
remember the
fucking,
book. Of
right, yeah.
Forgot what Iron Warriors were called.
The guys who wear the medal and the hazard stripes.
I'm just saying, if you have. It cannot be a black hole because if it was a black hole,
Not
then
a
that whole
literal
planet-
black hole. I'm saying it's gravity. It generates.
Not true.
A-
A tiny enough black hole won't
Yeah,
actually
we're
suck through
talking
the planet.
an atom
Doesn't
size.
it just get bigger and bigger?
No.
Size black hole. What?
No, because they evaporate at a rate such that if they don't have enough mass going into them, they'll go away before they come up.
Fuck
This is-
you.
it looks
This
like
is
it's
what
got
happened with
plenty
this
of mass
fucking
right
Austin
there.
is our
This
Neil
the
deGrasse Tyson
This is
now.
the argument with the CERN collider that they were afraid if it actually made a black hole, it would just eat the whole fucking planet.
Yeah.
And they decided that the odds of that were 1 in several billion, and flicked the thing on.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
And we're
What
fine
if,
so far.
hold on,
so-
guys. What if we're in a whole nother multiverse now, right? And like this, the Hadron Collider did actually go off and suck us into a black hole, and now we're living that timeline.
To our listeners, I'm sorry.
Whoa!
Will, it's obvious we've all been dead since 2012, and this is in fact how.
Oh shit!
Lord.
No, we're gonna wake up in the Cenobites prison, and this is
In a
Oh,
Cinnabon?
no. The Cinnabon prison.
we've gone
No,
back,
no.
back to Hellraiser.
These are the Cenobites.
We have come full circle.
But no, I've always wondered how they plan to. How do you arc grav? I don't know. Why do these lasers have a max weapon? They're light.
Because the gravity field has mass.
I mean,
Oh
technically,
shit! There you go.
Yes.
Fuck yeah! You did it easy.
Yeah.
Why didn't I ask you months ago?
and there it is, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yep. Love that awkward silence we
Yeah.
throw in there. Very good. All right. What else we got?
Okay. Steven is back here.
Fucking it up.
Reading a book like a fucking nerd with his glasses.
He
on.
definitely has nerd glasses on.
Did you want to talk about Titans today?
Or maybe listen to Weezer
All right.
Are we doing
with your glasses.
Titan? Attack on Titan?
Listen to Weezer.
I'm gonna need someone to probably Jared. I'm kicking Jared off his seat.
Oh.
No.
Jared doesn't play
Wow,
Tiny
that was
Titans.
real. You
I
don't
get to
play Tiny
record
Titans.
every 2 years.
Yeah. Keep Jared on. Jared.
Here, I'll
Jared.
run the board. I'll run
Hold
the
on.
board.
No. Jared doesn't. Jared actually plays Tiny Titans. I don't. So take my splot. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're being demoted for not knowing who the Iron Warriors
Eat a dick,
were.
Steven.
Don't you play that army?
Yeah. Got 2 back pockets. You can kiss me in between them.
How do you like that
Ladies and
awkward
gentlemen,
silence?
it's Steven.
Hello, world.
Welcome to another episode of Remember the Titans, but I don't have my guitar with me.
Yeah, we don't have a cool theme song this time.
Or
So,
did I record one already?
did you?
Remember the Titans? They walked around bipedal. They were war machines made by the Omnisaur. They had engines made of nukes and stuff. They had weird religions and some weird cantankerous actions. Remember the Titans.
Okay,
Take it away,
so
Steven.
another episode of Remember the Titans. Those of you who listened to the last one, remember I did Legio Metallica. A quick reminder: I've eaten several cookies. Remember this segment is making specific Titan legions that exist in the fluff, but do not have actual rules, using the Legio Titanicus Crusade Legion rules found in White Dwarf.
In the Blood Raven
Yeah, the Blood Ravens issue.
book. Look for the Blood Raven.
I wish I
think we decided
June?
it was
June,
No.
July.
no.
It was one of them.
Something like that.
Anyway,
Fuck it.
so you can take up to
Four,
That's right,
Stephen.
4. I remembered it this time.
As I thought.
4 little Legio traits. War gear traits, which give you special rules, or stratagems at reduced cost. You cannot take more than 2 of any of these 3 categories, and you can take up to 4. So, last week we did a Traitor Legion. This time we're going to do a Loyal Legion. We're going to do Legio Praesagius, the True Messengers. So, Legio Praesagius is one of the things that they are known for, or rather the doctrine that they are known for, is the precise application of firepower. They work well with the Ultramarines, and they were known for not being the avatars of destruction that other Legios were.
They must be really fun at parties.
Yeah. They didn't just roll in and reduce cities to ashes and then say, all right, see you later. Thanks for coming out.
Do they know they're Titans?
Yes. Presumably they thought that was a wasteful way to conduct war.
Oh, my goodness.
But they were real down for hunting enemy engine class weapons and destroying them. So, starting off first, we're with the maniple of choice. We're going to do the good old Axiom maniple. Yay!
Hooray.
That is mandatory: 1 Warlord, 1 Reaver, 1 Warhound. The trait for it is if you fail a command check, you can keep making command checks. Yay! So normally in Titanicus, when you fail a command check, there's no more orders for you. You can no longer do full strides, first fires, split fires, and what have you.
And that can straight up lose you the game if you're not paying attention.
It can, especially when it comes down to late game, and you really, really need to get a first fire order off, and
Or you really, really need to bring your shields back up.
you need your shields, you need to split fire, you need to do
Emergency
several
repairs,
things. Yep, any number of things, and you get your big fancy warlord to make his first check, and he fails immediately, and now your whole battle plan has gone to shit. Well, good news. You don't have to worry about that with an Axiom maniple. If you fail, you can keep making checks. Praesagius was also known for a decentralized command structure. So individual princeps and individual maniples were highly individualistic. Independence was encouraged among the Legio. So that's what you're going to do. For your Legion traits, you're going to take 2. Now, normally I give a couple of options for this, but in this particular instance, with Praesagius, I find that their characteristics kind of cornhole them into a very specific set of
Pigeonhole?
Pigeonhole is definitely the word you were looking for there.
pigeonhole, cornhole,
Pigeonhole.
whatever. It's a
cornhole is a wildly different thing.
It's a hole.
Okay.
Go for it.
Much.
Oh, my God.
What you do in your spare time is your own.
Yeah. Anyway,
But the word you want here is pigeonhole.
well, pigeonhole.
Corn.
pigeonholed into specific war gear choices. Those two things will be the Chasmata pattern lasers that you can get from taking War Chest and selecting from Legio Tempestus, I believe. You take their
fancy lasers.
Take their fancy lasers, and what that does is it gives you an extra 6 inches to the long range of all weapons with the plasma name. So laser blasters,
Laser name.
laser destroyers. Yeah, you know how
You
it
said
is.
plasma name.
Did I?
Yeah.
Oh, it's lasers.
Lasers.
Yeah. I don't have my notes in front of me, so I'm kind of having to do this from memory.
Yeah, he's taking his glasses off. He can't read anything.
Yeah, that's. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the additional 6 inches on a long range for your laser weaponry, and that's from Chasmata pattern lasers. Then your other war gear is going to be plasma rifling, and that adds another 6 inches to long range and 3 inches to short range. Now you do have to push your reactor for it, but you're probably going to want to put these weapons on your Carapace Warlords, so you've got reactor to spare. But effectively, that's going to give you an additional 12 inches in range on your laser weapons, which is pretty good. You pair those with volcano lasers, or volcano cannons, which I still suppose are a type of laser. Not explicitly said, but...
I mean, not really, but sure.
Whatever. So you'll have extra range on your lasers there, which will be fun.
And that is real good.
yeah,
a lot
especially
of times in Titanicus,
considering-
you want to go. Like there are good reasons to go second in Titanicus, and one of the big ones is the other guy's not in range. But so like if you get screwed and so you're like, you know what, a lot of gunliney stuff here, I'm going to go second. You just go, okay,
Cool.
extra 12 inches.
Boop.
Suck it.
Now, bear in mind as well that you can attach that to the laser blasters, which have shield bane. So that's push the reactor, get draining, and it reduces your opponent's shield save by 1. So now you know that fully healthy warlord with its 3-up shield save becomes a 4-up shield save. So all the better to strip shields off and at longer ranges, so that by the time that they are closer, you don't have to push quite as hard to get the damage out because their shields are already down. Yay!
Which is good because early game, you don't care about your reactor heat, like unless you're a warhound, because you only need it for that one thing you're doing. It cools right back down. You're not having to try and do I want to cool down? Do I want to fix shields, fix criticals, whatever? It's nice. It's nice.
Yep.
I like it.
Yep.
What else you got?
For your Legion trait, you are going to take Survivors. Now, during the Great Crusade, Praesagius was so good at kicking ass that they went and did it at basically every opportunity that they had. The downside of this being that it forced them into battles that tended to have high casualty rates. By the time of the Horus Heresy, Praesagius was stationed on Voss, I believe, was their new Forge World. And there weren't really a whole lot of engines left to fight. They had to take like a 5-year hiatus to stop kicking ass and rebuild their asses. Their own asses. You know what I mean.
They spent too much time
terms.
cornholing,
Yes.
so they had to reassemble their asses.
Yes.
Is what you're telling me.
Yeah, it'd be like that sometimes.
Well, when you go cornhole,ing it'd be like
Yep.
that.
Yep.
The spirit of Zach is just hovering above you right now.
Yeah. Now, this particular Legion trait is also in theme because Praesagius was the loyal Titan Legion at the betrayal at Calth. Sutravora got the drop on them and reaped a heavy toll before they were able to reorganize themselves and get going. So what Survivors does is from the 4th turn onward, you can say, okay, this is the last turn. This is it. So ultimately what you're going to want to do with this Legio is do as much damage as you possibly can to the enemy in as short a time as possible. So with your extended range and your heavier firepower, your objective is going to be to pick out 1 or 2 targets, kill them, and then withdraw from the field, taking your victory points with you.
Sounds like weak-willed men.
Which is the coward's way.
Yeah.
However,
it is.
I will say,
But if
Dave,
you've only got a handful of Titans left,
Dave, for his DIY Legio, picked that same trait, and we've been playing through a little mini campaign from Adepticon, which is real bloody and real awesome. And he was using that not so much in a, well, I'm going to do as much damage as possible and then get out, but as a CYA moment, in that, okay, I'm not like, I'm losing this fight turn 3. time to cut losses and go home. And in a campaign setting, that's great because shit's expensive.
It is. And just like in Battlefleet Gothic, where you can disengage with ships to save them for
so
future fights.
If you are going to Adepticon and you're thinking of all the great things your DIY Legio is going to do, that's a really nice one because in our 2 games, our average combat losses have been 1,750 points out of a total list. So you're bringing 5,000 points, and you need those for all 3 days. Ooh. So it's real bad. And again, we've only been playing the turn 4 because Dave's been cutting and running. And like Steven said, if you're up, a couple of points into turn 3, and you can just say, all right, turn 4, ending it, back off, and he can't catch up, and you've won.
Yep.
It's a good gig.
Praesagius was also one of their defining characteristics was the fact that they did not believe in dragging out fights. Other legios thought of their titans as gods, which appropriately they are. But Praesagius was not one to stay and have a war to the knife. They took out the targets they wanted to, then they withdrew to let everybody else do the work that was necessary. They felt that their titans were too destructive to keep on the field for extended periods of time.
More coward talk.
Yes.
Look, I don't make the rules. I'm just telling you how they do.
You very specifically are making the rules.
No,
here, Steven.
I'm just picking some rules to play a admittedly lesser Legio. But some people don't like Traitor Legions because they're weird, so...
I hate agreeing with you. I hate agreeing with you so much. It hurts my
I
soul.
do play a Traitor Legion. in this,
And
so
yet,
it's not
here we
really-
are.
But I play Murder Lords.
Yep, you play Interfector, you play...
So what's your 4th thing? That's 3 things. What's
The
your
4th thing, yes, is your choice of one of several stratagems. I thought that Praesagius had a pretty decent amount of fluffy stratagems to their name, but I picked 2. One is Wages of Betrayal. And what that does is, at the first turn of the game, all enemy titans are at a -2 to command checks, and the Princeps Signoris is at a -3. So, combined with the fact that you're probably only going to be on the table for about 4 turns if things are getting really ugly, you have longer range and stronger guns than everybody else, you're going to pick the most disoriented target you can.
And how many points is this, cutting across?
It is a
2-pointer that becomes
2
a 1?
point, so it goes down to 1 using War Doctrine. So you're going to pick a disoriented target, you're going to strip his shields with super long-range shield-bane lasers, and then you're going to blow out their knee joints with bellicoses. Just the way the Lord intended.
For a point, that's real good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The second option here is, again, in fitting with the fact that Praesagius enjoys, well, not enjoys really, but feels it their obligation to single out enemy Titan class targets, is a stratagem that I think it's called Headhunter. I don't really remember, but it gives you extra points, extra victory points for completely destroying targets. So again, the objective with Praesagius is to be on the table for as long as is optimal, do as much damage in that time frame as possible, and then retreat before you get shot back.
And generally, Wages of Betrayal, at least I'm starting to see a shift in the events that are being run away from allowing stratagems that give extra bonus points. But either way, that's good. And I was just thinking, those fucking Porphyrians, which the internet is so upset about, despite my rantings to the contrary,
We have done our best.
this will fuck them up real hard because their command is what, 3 or 4?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they really
want that
they
first
really
fire.
need the first fire to be efficient, and if they're not, and you have an extra 12-inch range on all your weapons, suddenly all of them are dead.
And that gives you plenty of time to hunt them down,
Laugh and laugh and laugh.
too. Because with the Axiom Maniple, you're taking one of every Titan class. So your Warlords are there to strip shields and do damage. Your Reavers are there as screenings for your Warlords. And your Warhounds go out and hunt little knights or targets of opportunity. All while being able to conduct their own orders on themselves, even if their friends have failed.
Yeah, it's solid. I like it.
Yep. So that's all I got for Legio Praesagius today. Kind of short compared to Legio Metallica, but tune in next time for Legio Zestobiax, the Iron Vigil.
Thanks, Steven.
Cornhole.
Cornhole. I do do have one more thing.
Yes.
Just as a plug.
Yeah.
We're doing that Kutok at War event.
Yeah. Let's talk about that real quick.
Oh, we want to talk about it real quick? We can talk about it real quick. It's exciting.
Let's talk about it.
All right, so this is our year's campaign for 2020 is Kutok at War. Kutok is a mining world in closer to Terra, but not, it's not here on the map as far as GW is concerned. And the background of it is, because I wanted an event, because normally when you play a 30K event, it's either traders or loyalists or landing on a planet, and that's like mission 1 or like event 1. And then naturally, if the guys that are invading get the shit kicked out of them, everybody's just like, well, they made it, we promise.
Somehow.
Some of them made it.
Meanwhile,
It's
on the
fine.
other side of the planet.
right? So I didn't want that. Like, I wanted an event that could actually have, variable victory conditions. So the background is, this is a mining world with a shit ton of abhumans on it. And Horus decides in the lead up to the heresy that it's strategically positioned for, as his fleet is going to Terra, because there's only like 10,000 real people on it, he can just divert some troops, herd all the beasts, like the billions of beastmen, onto some ships, and then dump them out on Terra as gun fodder. Sure. This is his master plan. You may have heard of it if you've read the second book of the Siege of Terra.
If you haven't, get on it.
Get on it. So anyway, that's a great plan, except that several months before the actual betrayal happens and everything goes to shit, the Beastmen have their own revolution because they've been slaves for a couple of centuries and life is terrible.
Oops.
And naturally, everything being so close to the outbreak of the heresy, none of the traitor troops respond because they're already working just on Horus's orders. So loyalist forces have landed on the planet to put down this Beastman rebellion, not knowing of the Horus heresy or any of it. So the traitors show up expecting there to be no opposition and find all these traitors and an active war going on, or all the loyalists and an active war going on. And about the same time, the loyalists start hearing rumors of, Istvan and Kauth and all of these events. So the traitors successfully land on the planet under the auspices of, hey guys, we're all buddies. And then the loyalists are like, yeah, but the astropath is just screaming about how Horus betrayed the Emperor and like Vulcan is dead. So what's up with that? So this is the first event will start there.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a random doubles event, which is one of my personal favorite ways of hosting an event.
1,500 points.
So it's 1,500 point list on kind of the Nova doubles set. So it's not a full Age of Darkness list, max of 4 troops, some other stuff. It's all on our Remembrance Retreats basic page, the details. And you'll show up and be loyalist or traitor, and then be assigned a random buddy for game 1. And you'll play a doubles game. And there's some shenanigans that I won't get too deep into. But remember, there is a third completely random faction, theoretically, on the planet.
What could it be?
It's Beastmen. Piles of Beastmen. And then for the second mission, you will get a new buddy, just in case that buddy sucked. Looking at you.
Sir? I swear.
Wait.
All of you.
I think Jared thought I was looking at him, but I was staring at Steven. And
Yeah,
Steven didn't
yeah.
pick up on it until late. No,
Yeah.
we love you both. We love you both.
Except for Steven.
But anyway,
No Primarchs.
no Primarchs, no Primarchs.
1,500 point
1,500
combatant.
point combatant list. That's the word I'm using.
1 to 2 HQ, 1 to 4 troop, 0 to 3 elite, 0 to 2 fast attack, 0 to 2 heavy support.
Yeah, so it should be a fun time.
Yep.
There'll be some fun swag, and then the next event, which will go probably 3 months after, we don't have an actual date yet. That'll be a strike team thing, which I'm also super excited about.
It's going to be good.
I've done some Inc. 28 in my time, so this will be real shenanigan-y.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's exciting.
Come on out. It's going to be free.
Yeah.
Swing
Yeah.
on down. Battlegrounds. in
Gonna be
Mid-
free.
Midlothian,
Gonna be
Virginia.
free. Gonna have some good swag. Be a fun time.
Like I said. Information is on the event page, on our web page, or our Facebook page, Remembrancers Retreat.
Yep.
And with that, I think, unless you got anything else we want to talk about today, we can wrap this episode up. And
Yeah, no, I'm good.
All right, cool. Awesome. Thanks for coming, Steven. Thank you. Jared, it's been great to see you again.
It's been great
been
to
too
be
long.
here. It has
We've
been
missed
too
you.
damn long.
They've missed.
I need someone else to talk militia with.
I keep writing militia. I'm going to
Don't-
come out with an
don't we
article
all?
this week.
Nice.
Beastmen.
Beastmen. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at RR30K Podcast. Be sure to check out our website, rr30k.com, which will have rules for Battlefleet Heresy, a few other things. Strike Team. I think we got an update.
Yeah, speaking of Battlefleet Heresy, the now quote-unquote official point list value for Mechanicum Fleet is posted on the website. So if you play Mechanicum, or your opponent plays Mechanicum, and you're tired of flipping through 4 or 5 different documents to find the right points values, it's all in one. So you can just go download that.
Pretty handy.
Legion will be coming soon.
Nice. And as always, thank you to our patrons, starting with the Sergeant Tier Duncan, Emily O'Hare, and Travis Smith, our Centurions, Angry Boy, Derek Knoll, M. Hernandez, Minis by Applesauce, Mark Henry, and John Christensen, and our Praetors, Alex South, Chris Mack, at Garner.Tree of Woe, Joe from Music City Heresy, Josh Phillips, and Matthew Boyce. Thank you all for supporting our podcast. We greatly appreciate it. And if you're interested in becoming a patron as well, be sure to check out patreon.com/RR30K podcast. And now with that, my name is Jesse, here with Austin, Steven, and Jared. Y'all have a good night. Keep those dice rolling. And as Will says with Forge Breaker Painting, kicking his starties in the nuts. Bye.
Bye.
He's not here. I needed to say that for him.
Are we sure they have testicles?
I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't.
I mean, they might explode due to excess testosterone in the implantation process.
Possible.
It's a weak spot.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.